Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place to find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today is Thursday. And on Thursday, we're here talking happy, healthy habits with Robin Shimizu and friends. So Robin's in the studio today, and we are super duper excited. I just want to say, Robin, we love it when you come on Thursdays. You always have such interesting guests, and I just look forward to talking to her. I see Betsy's in the studio in the back there waiting for us. And, and so we're excited. I'm going to just put her in, let her know we see you.
Okay.
Hi, Betsy. We see you. We're going to put you backstage for just a second.
Right.
Okay. All right. So what's up today?
So this is what I got into. I got in the mail this week.
Oh, no. What's it say? Gratitude?
Isn't that cute?
Oh, that's super nice.
And it has little sweatpants to match it. So I've been wearing this every day. It's like a little not a birthday, a Christmas present to me.
Oh, that's sweet.
To me.
I really like that.
Yeah, it's all comfy and it's got pockets in the sweatpants, and I'm all happy because I can now carry my phone around. And anyway,
it's so cool.
So I'm very grateful that I found this. And that I was able to get it for myself for Christmas.
Oh, Cecilia's in here this morning. She says, hi, good morning, ladies. How you doing, Cecilia?
Mm-hmm. So hello to Francine in the background. Also, I wanted to just remind people about the upcoming year. We will be doing Biz Chicks, I think, on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, but it may be little short programs. But what I'd like to try to do is get people start to thinking about not doing any New Year's resolutions, and to instead just be open to maybe adopting a new happy, healthy habit. Just one happy, healthy habit starting January. And we'll just build on that. And so maybe we'll talk about that every week.
I think so, because you know what? I had forgotten just that quick about the fact that you were saying last week that New Year's resolutions weren't really necessary, and we don't want to get into them and have a feeling of failure. But if we change a habit, we can change our life.
That's right.
That's beautiful. Change a habit, change your life. You need to write that down.
We need to practice a habit for anywhere from 30 to 120 days for it to start sticking. Mm-hmm. And if you get off track, then you just get back right on the next day. And don't beat yourself up. So anyway, today we have a happiness coach with us. Her name is Betsy Smith, and I met her at Seasons 52 2 years ago with the Biz Chicks.
Oh, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to get back to Seasons.
I know. I miss that so much. And we found out we're a mile away from each other, and we became fast friends and business partners. So it's been really super fun. She's actually a former bank bond trader and did investments and things like that back in the day before she became an entrepreneur. And she's been an entrepreneur for years and years and years. And now she is doing a coaching program, and it's called Get Happy, Healthy. Get Happy Habits. I don't know exactly that. She'll tell us exactly the name of her coaching program. Okay. But what she can teach us to do is set our happiness set point, to reset our happiness set point. So we kind of figure out what happiness level we're at, and then we can try to work on, because it is scientifically proven that we can change our happiness level.
I love that.
2021, let's do it. Let's get happier.
as Dr. Tachi says, be more right?
Yeah.
So happier. Okay.
Right. So with that, let's go ahead and bring Betsy in. She's an author also. She wrote a book called Brain Hacks, Simply Smart. And yeah, she wrote that book last year amongst all these other things that she took on her business. And I just I just think the world of her. She's just amazing, amazing woman. Hi, Betsy.
Hi guys, how are you?
We're good. How are you?
I'm so grateful to be here. And as Robin said, I'm one of the things I'm most grateful for is that I moved here from Chicago almost 3 years ago now. And about the first month that I was here, I went to that Biz Chicks meeting that Robin was talking about and met Robin. And you know what it's like when you move to a city. My daughter is here, but I didn't know anybody else. And when you can find kind of your soul buddy when you move, that's huge. So that's one thing I'm most grateful for in this especially the last couple of years.
That is a winner.
Yes.
Okay, you need to start a group called Soul Buddies.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes,
Or happiness buddies.
When you meet your people, right?
Yes. Yep, I love it. Well, what do you have for us today?
Well, I am always, the thing that really lights me up is being able to talk about happiness. And I am a certified happy for no reason trainer.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And people will always ask me, is happy for no reason walking around with a smile on your face all the time? And it's absolutely not, because I tried that for my first 40 years. And then I had my existential moment. And at that point, it's kind of like if you've ever tried to hold a beach ball underwater, under the ocean water, when you're in the ocean, and how it just, like at some point it just pops up. Well, that's kind of what happened to me. Because when you stuff all those emotions, it doesn't work very well. So happy for no reason I describe it as kind of like it's having a sense of inner peace and calm no matter what's going around us. Whether there's a pandemic, whether there's we all have chaotic things going on in our lives, but when you can have that sense of peace and inner calm, it's kind of like having a strong back, but being able to live with an open heart. So that's pretty much what I like to talk about and what I teach. Pardon me. Oops, I can't hear you guys now.
I'm sorry, that's because I muted myself.
Oh, okay.
So I will stop interrupting you. Because I'm going, yeah, okay. Excuse me.
I think my cough is catching now.
No, that laughter is catching, the cough is not.
We'll catch some happiness, yeah.
Yes, I'm just going to have some orange juice right here.
Well, I love what Robin was talking about, the small little changes and just being a little bit more grateful every single day is a big, it's probably the primary happiness habit is gratitude, is being able to be happy for what we have. Because the myth of happiness is that we think when we get the house, when we get the spouse, when we get the title, when we get more money, when we lose 20 pounds, that's always the best. When something else happens, then we'll be happy. And so the trick to happiness is finding gratitude in what we have going on right this minute.
Oh, wow. And you've got your gratitude outfit on, Robin.
Yes. She's dressed for the occasion.
Wow. So everybody needs to get their G on, huh?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Gratitude. Wow. Okay. Let's see. So where are you? Nope. Go ahead.
Betsy, you have a program coming up in January, and I'm trying to actually paste it into the Facebook. I'm going to still do that while you're presenting.
It's actually up right now. I just have been in the middle of all the holidays and everything else. I've been trying to get this thing going. So this is a program. It's really priced for the pandemic, because I know so many people are dealing with much more anxiety, much more. Everything's uncertain, and this is There's 7 pillars of happiness that include things like the mind, the body. I mean, the mind is a big one, obviously, but the heart, purpose, relationships, all these different things. And so it's the 7 pillars of happiness jumpstart program, basically. And so it's kind of what I decided. I was trying to figure out how to get this in a very cost-effective way to people. And so I taped, pre-recorded the 7 pillars, which people can, once they get into the program, they can go to as many times as they want and watch over and over. And then I have 8 coaching sessions, and the coaching sessions are at bargain basement prices. So people will look at the video, and then we'll do coaching, and I'll help them in 90 days jumpstart their happiness. And Robin was talking about the happiness set point. So what's really cool is that there's so much science now about happiness, and so we all have a happiness set point. If when something great happens, people win the lottery, and you may have heard before that people win the lottery and they're super happy from a short time. Within a year, they're at the same happiness level that they were. Or someone is in a very serious accident and ends up in a wheelchair. Again, they end up about the same happiness level. But we can change that happiness set point by doing making some changes over time. It's not magic. It's just making these small changes over time. And so with this course, you take the happiness set point test at the beginning and then at the end, so we can measure your happiness set point. And then we talk about different ways to, the coaching part helps you customize this program for you, and depending on what you're most, needing.
Yes. Robin,
I have a question. I was always a good girl. I always raised my hand. So is it once a week, Betsy, that we go through a pillar, or is it once a month? And
so it's pre-recorded. The pillars are pre-recorded, and then the coaching is one-on-one. So we can just arrange it around your schedule. Some people are free in the day, and that I was running into that problem. Some people it's better. Like if I do a program, it's much better to be able to be really working with people. And so some people are busy during the day, and some people would rather do it, at night. And so this way you can watch the videos at your convenience, and then we arrange the one-on-one time.
So it's self-paced, and then you schedule your appointments, is what I hear you saying. Okay. Yeah. Well, Cecilia says she loves the fact that there might be happy in soul buddies. And she says here that, gratitude determines your altitude in life. And that's true.
Yes, it does. Mm-hmm. Attitude creates the altitude. The other thing is, as people go through the program, I'm going to be creating soul buddy, basically, groups, so we can do some ongoing work in a group. Because I just found, I know when I had my kind of crisis, I got into therapy, and thankfully my therapist put me in a group therapy, and it's so much more powerful when you work with a group, I think, because you find insights in what they say, and they find insights in what you say, and it's very it's powerful.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what are we talking about today in terms of happiness, Betsy?
Well, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I think one thing that I've been doing a lot of reading and studying on is this concept that our emotions are actually, that our thoughts actually create our emotions. We think that our emotions create our thoughts, but it's actually the opposite. And we have a whole lot of stinking thinking going on. There's most of our, so we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 60,000. Most of them are subconscious. Most of them are just below. We don't even know. They're things that our families of origin we all have different, we come to life in every experience with different experiences. So a lot of those are pre-existing learnings that we had. And then 95% of those thoughts are repetitive, the same ones we had yesterday. So we're like little automatons going through our life. And 80% of those are negative. So we have a lot of stinking thinking. And so some of these different things, gratitude writing down three things a day that you're grateful for helps you start to scan the world for more to be grateful for. And I think the holidays, here we are in the holidays, and the holidays can be really fraught with a lot of emotion and a lot of, here we are in the pandemic and the holidays. Anybody else having, like trauma, trying to figure out who can I see and when can I see them and can I even see them and is it safe? And then we're together, can I hug? It's like, I have two 1-year-old grandbabies, and it's just like the whole, we're all kind of disrupted right now.
I heard this morning too, they were saying they didn't want you to hug. And I'm like, what? Now we can't even hug. We can see people, but we can't hug them. And it's the holiday. Yeah, that I was stunned.
Well, and I think, back to our emotions are caused by our thoughts. One of the things that happens, especially during the holidays, is expectations. We have an expectation that it's going to be, one of those great romantic holiday stories, movies from the old days where everybody's happy, everybody's copacetic, everybody's, everything's perfect, and it's not. And it's, that's just not reality. So we set these expectations that sometimes, in fact, I wrote a blog, my most recent one was about expectations, because if we can give everybody else a break and not have such high expectations of what everybody else should do to make us happy, it makes us a whole lot happier. Does that make sense?
Yes. You know what? When my daughters got their own place, and they started having children, I said, you know what? I don't have any traditions anymore. You make your own traditions. And so free them up not to have to, okay, do we have to go with the moms first and do all that stuff that she wants to, I'm not that person. And I think that when we give people permission to celebrate as they see fit, not as we see fit, it releases us from a lot of obligation.
Yes.
Which should reduce your stress level.
Yes. And theirs.
Yes. And B, you don't have to write a check.
Right. Well, it gets complicated. I know when I got married, then all of a sudden there were two sets of parents.
Correct.
My parents were divorced, so that was a whole different. And then now, so many people, they get married and they've got the parents and then the step parents and then both sides, and everybody wants to have everybody wants to claim the time,
the different holiday,
Christmas Day or Thanksgiving Day or the different holidays. They're just a day. So if we can relax our expectation around, we have to have them on this day. Maybe you do it a couple days later, or maybe you do it a week later, or maybe you do it 6 months later because of the pandemic. So it's all those expectations that create a lot of our angst, our anxiety.
Yes. And I think it puts a lot of pressure on other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were you going to say? Robin, you were going to say something.
Well, I wanted to say what I learned at Thanksgiving, that I cooked this entire meal and had people come over, and just pick up their food and take it home. But I was incredibly depressed the next 2 days because I didn't get to see them. I didn't get to talk to them. And I worked my butt off for, 2 days. And my sister and I both cooked. So there was a lot of cooking going on. So for Christmas, I sent a note to people and I said, there's no Christmas this year, guys. You're on your own. And I'm going to order food out for me and my mom for Christmas. And I'm going to support a local business. I'm going to order food out and just be more simple. And I think it was such a horrible experience for me on Thanksgiving. I just missed everybody. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm changing it all up. So,
I am proud of you that you recognized it and you changed it quickly. Because you had another one coming up the next month. It's like, you know what? I don't want to feel like this again, right? Wow. Well, Yolanda says here, she says, this is the year for me. I need to free the kids and free myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She says, I'll become the day after I've had been there long enough. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She figured out that the day after she'd been there long enough. Okay. Sometimes we get stuck in our own traditions because someone else always did it that way. Is that correct, Betsy?
Well, that just reminded me of a book when I ended up getting divorced, and when I went through divorce, I remember getting a book, and it was called, I have no idea what it was called, but I remember there were different questions about, should you stay or should you leave? Mm-hmm. The word "should" drives me crazy, but let's just say that was what it was. Anyway, there were various questions in it that you could ask yourself, and some of it was about abuse, verbal or otherwise. But one question was, and this stuck with me forever, and I've used this a lot: if God or whoever you believe is the higher power, or whoever you believe is, knows more than you, gave you permission, what would you do? Mm-hmm. And I love that, because we are harder on ourselves than we are. We're very critical of ourselves, but when we talk to other people, if somebody that was saying some of the same things that you say to yourself, you would be horrified. You would say, well, how can you say that? That's a horrible thing to say to somebody. And yet we do that to ourselves. So it is true. We are very critical of ourselves, or we interpret kids who have other obligations, and decide to maybe see a different set of parents or grandparents as they don't love us as much. And that's, again, the thoughts create our emotions, and our emotions are very triggered by those thoughts. And so when we can free our minds of some of these negative thoughts, it's very freeing.
Wow.
In my course, the very first coaching session, the very first session that you listen to, I give everybody my favorite habit, which helps you start to literally become more conscious of your thoughts, because most of these thoughts are unconscious thoughts, and we don't even know we're having them. So
what are some of the habits we should have to affect happiness?
Well, it's good to start out a little bit slow. And so gratitude is a big one. So if you can write down 3 things a day, and I say to people, some days you can just say, I'm grateful that I have some toothpaste to put on my toothbrush. I'm grateful that I woke up in a bed that is reasonably warm. It doesn't, some days it's very hard to come up with something that you're grateful for. And then I distinguish between gratitude and appreciation, because appreciation to me is a little bit more, I'm grateful that I have toothpaste to put on my toothbrush, but appreciation is more of a human, there's more of an emotion and more humanness about it, I think. And so if you can start to think about those things during the day, and it can be, you can appreciate someone else. Some of these, the essential workers that are out there, people in the grocery stores that have the masks on all day long. I've seen people.
I thank them every time I go in. I thank them for coming to work.
Yeah.
I just thank you for coming to work today.
Yeah.
And you can see, you can't see this smile but you can see their eyes light up.
And that makes you feel better and them feel better. So it's those little things are huge.
Because they didn't have to show up.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And lately, I think a lot of people have been grateful for toilet paper, because when I was in the store the other day, it was gone again. I was just like, people, come on.
But that is one thing you don't want to run out of, that's for sure.
Well, what did we do before we had toilet paper?
Yeah.
There was some newspaper going on and some other things happening. Okay. Work with me, people. Something, I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other, that's a rabbit trail. Okay.
On a different topic, another thing that you just reminded me of is laughing.
Yes.
And literally smiling when we do the act of smiling. So if as you're saying something nice to somebody and you're smiling, it creates, there are 4 different happiness chemicals. And so that's one of the happiness chemicals: laughter, smiling. Find a funny movie. Go on YouTube and find cute pet videos or whatever. Something to make you laugh and smile is really, my twin 1-year-old grandbabies, oh my God, I have videos that are just hilarious of them. And it just makes me happy, makes me laugh. But that is a big one too. And this interaction like this, where we're playing off of each other and making each other laugh. Those things are huge for happiness.
Yes. I just am excited to know that there is a trainer available, because I was in training for over 30 years. I admire trainers. I know that there is an incredible amount of research that goes into a subject. So I'm sure that you've done a preponderance of research and training to be able to fill this space. How did you come up with your name?
Well, so it's interesting that you talk about the research. So 35 or so years ago, all the science was about, they were studying depressed people and trying to figure out how can we make somebody who's depressed just like manageable, like manage their emotions. And then Marty Seligman and some other people got together and started doing scientific research on, why don't we study happiness? Why don't we study what actually
flip this script? Yeah.
Yes. So there's 30 some years of science, thousands and thousands of studies now on the science of happiness and how we can actually rewire our brain. And so Happy for No Reason, I've been working with a woman named Marcy Shimoff for 6-7 years in some programs, and she wrote a book about 10 or 12 years ago called Happy for No Reason. And so she offered to train some of us to be Happy for No Reason trainers. And so I've been working with a lot of, the book Happy for No Reason, she interviewed over 100 people that are happy for no reason, because she was an unhappy child. And so she wanted to figure out, how do you, what's the secret of all these people? And so that's what all this work is based on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is science. And another happy habit that I love, here we are in Sacramento, in Chicago, and I guess the East Coast just got whopped with snow.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that when you said you were from Chicago. I was like, you're grateful.
I am so grateful every day, but we give out Academy Awards, Academy Award for the essential worker that was the kindest, or the cutest baby, or the cutest family. And I'll go on my walks. I take long walks since I can't play pickleball, which is what I really love. I will take long walks and I'll focus on something. So sometimes I'll focus on tree bark, and I'll take pictures of like really interesting bark, or I'll focus on the flowers, or if you look for hearts, you can actually find hearts. And so when your mind is focused on something other than all the negative thinking, you can take a walk and you can just be like in your mind going, rah, 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 nobody's coming for Thanksgiving, I can't see any, all the complaints. Or you can focus on something that is going to make you, be more positive. And then I'll take pictures and then I put them on Instagram or Facebook or something, because, when I found amazing bark formations that I had walked by, 100 times. But when you're focused on looking for something interesting and then you take a picture of it, it's like, wow, that was there all the time.
Wow. Something, I like the idea of refocusing the mind on something so pure.
Yes.
And things that we walk by all the time, because there's so much to be grateful for, and we walk right by it.
Yeah.
And I like to, when things don't look all that great, I like to flip the script and say, okay, but this is good, and that is good, and you know what I'm saying? And just the fact, okay, so you get to for instance, Betsy, I get to the grocery store, let's say the clerk has an attitude.
Yeah.
But the good news is they're there and I can check out.
Yes.
And I don't have to stay here and talk to the clerk all day. Okay.
That's perfect. And another thing is sometimes you can look at something from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I remember years ago when my second child, this could be a whole nother thing, but when my second child was born, my ex-husband, was diagnosed with stomach cancer and had his entire stomach removed the day after my second child was born. So there was a lot going on. And I distinctly remember being in a Walgreens and there was a clerk that was being like what you're talking about. And I remember thinking, no one knows what other people are going through. No one knew what I was going through. Mm-hmm. No one knew. I thought, maybe she's, who knows? So I'm going to give her some grace and I'm going to try to see if I can make her smile because that's a challenge. Because I needed somebody to make me smile. And that was before I knew all this happiness stuff.
Well, you get what you plant.
Yeah.
So you're planting happiness in her was planting happiness in you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, we are at the top of the half an hour, but if you could just give us a recap of one or two things that we can do to increase happiness during the holiday.
Well,
one said make that list of 3.
Okay. So one is make a list of 3 things a day that you're grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
It'll help you start scanning the world for more to be grateful for. Then another would be when something happens, just question. Be a little bit more curious than reactive and think, is there a different way that I could look at this? Is there another perspective? What would be the perspective of the other person? What could be the perspective of the other person? We create a drama about, well, this person's being, grumpy because they don't like how I look or what, we make up these disempowering stories about what's going on. And then I think, I love the Academy Awards. So just start going through your day. You can watch a movie with your family and if you've got kids and you've got a family dinner, do some of these things with the kids and say, what were you grateful for today? Or, who would you give an Academy Award to today? What was the thing that happened today and it could be, just the way an actor or an actress performs. It can be anything and you can just make it all up because that's really what it's about. It's looking for something that's worth acknowledging.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to join you here on screen. Let's see. There you go.
There we go.
Well, one of the things I could say in terms of Betsy is I could edify her because, we've all had a horrible, rough 2020. And I think if it weren't for Betsy giving me little tips on what I can do to drag myself out of the doldrums or whatever, it was really helpful. It's almost like I almost had like a free coach for the whole year. Because she was in training and she was helping me and she recommends books for me to read and it's really nice. So I think her program, the idea behind it where you get an hour to talk about the video with her is probably the most powerful part of her training because I take a lot of online trainings, but I don't get to interact with the trainer.
That's true.
And I don't get to ask questions and I don't get it tailored for me. So I think that's a really incredible program, Betsy, that I hadn't heard about that part of it, or maybe I was. Anyway, I'm in.
I'm excited about it because it's very well priced and then I can work with you. And then, as I said, my goal is to start some groups because then we can have some soul sister groups. Because I think, sister or brother, but it seems like more women are a little bit. And then one other thing that I just want to mention. So December 21st is a big shift in the cosmos, and we're going from more masculine energy to more of the divine feminine energy. And so, isn't that needed? Can't we just like open-hearted energy is coming, and so I'm like that. I'm grateful for, and I'm just going to be on the lookout for anything that tells me that this is. I mean, who knows if it's true? But for me, it's like, hey, why not?
Well, I think women are going to to just continue to be a force for life and positivity. You know, it might be just because we're the ones who give life and have the responsibility for the immediate sustaining of the same. It makes us more compassionate.
Yeah.
It also is one reason I attest to, or I subscribe to women praying more.
Yeah. Well, there is something to the Lynn McTaggart has done science on like group prayer or thinking, you know, group sending energy to something, and it's seeds, it's people who are sick, it's all these different things, and it literally is, there's something there, and scientifically proven.
Oh yes. Okay, well, tell us about next week, Robin. Do you know who's coming up next week?
No.
Rob, I also want to thank Betsy. I really enjoyed that conversation today.
Well, I want to thank you, and Terry, you are a force of feminine, of the divine feminine, I know, in the world, and that's awesome. And Robin too. I mean, Robin, I always brag about Robin because Robin's so very like she won't do it for herself. So I love Robin.
That's why we're working on Robin. We want you to go to the front of your own line, Robin. Okay. So, all right. What's up for the future, Robin?
Well, I don't have anybody planned for Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, so we're just going to have to play it by ear. So everybody just needs to tune in, even if it's just for a few minutes. Come see us on Thursday next week, and we'll wish you a Merry Christmas.
That's fantastic, and you can share your greetings with us. Okay, we look forward to talking to everyone. Tomorrow is Friday. Let's see what Cecilia's saying here. Hold on. She's saying, they are both such givers. So that's Lakeisha.
Oh, Lakeisha. Hello, Lakeisha.
You were in the house. Yes. I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow is Friday. We'll be talking tech and English for your business. So come on over, tune in, and we'll relax and have conversations about what's new in tech. In addition to that, we want to say to you, remember to go to the front of your own line. Let's see what Cecilia's saying before we go. Yes, I agree. Oh, love these ladies. All positive and full. Yeah. Hey, what's not to smile about? Hey, if nothing else, we woke up, we got another chance. Okay, thank you. And I like what one of the people, I think it's Kelly Clarkson, says, if you don't like what's going on today, change it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Remember, you attract what you put out. So keep smiling, people. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you again. And Robin, you know we love you. So we'll see you tomorrow for Biz Chicks. Same time, same station. Have a great day. Let me find this brand. So